For exactly 24 hours every year, we enter a period where the standard rules of truth are paused. Friends, news outlets, and corporations all participate in a coordinated effort to deceive. Despite how widespread this is, there is no record of who started it. We have no confirmed date, no single creator, and no paper trail leading back to the very first prank. Historians have several suspects. The oldest is the Roman festival of Hilaria, celebrated during the March equinox. During these games, commoners put on disguises specifically to mock the nobility and government officials. This pattern of early spring subversion appears again in the Hindu festival of Holi. Crowds gather to throw colored powder, using the celebration to forgive past mistakes and ignore social hierarchies. In literature, the search leads to the 14th century. In Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, a rooster is tricked by a fox on a date described as March 32nd, a day scholars often interpret as a reference to April 1st. Looking for a single day zero ignores the reality of how traditions actually spread. The prank didn't start with one person. It evolved as our communication tools changed. A credible theory begins in 1564. King Charles IX moved the French New Year from late March to January 1st. Many didn't get the news or resist it. Pranksters stuck paper fish to their backs, the poisson d'avril, mocking them for celebrating a past New Year. By 1634, the expectation of an April 1st prank was so common, it provided a cover for a literal escape. Duke Nicolas François of Lorraine was a prisoner of French troops in the city of Nancy, heavily surrounded and closely watched. He dressed as a peasant porter and his wife as a valet. On the morning of April 1st, they attempted to walk right past the guards. A local girl saw them. She recognized the disguised princess and immediately shouted her name loudly in front of the gatehouse. The guards heard the warning, assumed it was a holiday trick, and simply laughed at her. They dismissed the shout as an April Fool's joke and let the Duke walk out of the city. The 1634 escape shows that the cultural weight of the prank can override military logic. The guards' fear of looking foolish was stronger than their training. In the 20th century, radio and television allowed a single deceptive message to reach millions. Orson Welles proved this in 1938 with his War of the Worlds broadcast. By using the tone of a real news bulletin, he bypassed the skepticism of late listeners. On April 1, 1957, the BBC applied this to a prank. They aired a segment on a spaghetti harvest in Switzerland. Respected journalist Richard Dimbleby merited the impossible harvest of pasta strings from tree branches with total, unwavering sincerity. Thousands of people called the BBC after the broadcast. They weren't complaining. They were asking for tips on how to grow their own spaghetti plants. Corporations soon adopted this marketing model. In 1996, Taco Bell ran ads claiming they purchased the Liberty Bell to help pay down the national debt. The reaction was immediate and incredibly angry. The White House had to respond, jokingly telling the press that the Lincoln Memorial had been renamed for Mercury. These broadcast events showed that the authority of the platform matters more than the logic of the message. If the medium looks official, the content becomes believable. Today, digital tools have moved the prank into a space of constant engagement. Corporations now use the day to release mock features and viral marketing stunts. Google creates elaborate fake search tools. Netflix adds nonsensical movie categories, and Discord builds infinite loot boxes into its interface. These digital stunts operate in an environment where verifying information is already difficult. In a feed full of sponsored content, the distinction between a corporate joke and a real announcement can disappear. We participate because the holiday offers a brief break from the rigid logic of the rest of the year. It is the one day where it is socially acceptable to be wrong, but we are left with the original problem. Despite centuries of theories involving calendars, poems, and ancient festivals, there is still no definitive proof of why April 1st was chosen. The lack of a clear answer remains the holiday's most consistent trait. We continue a tradition every year that has no recorded beginning, trusting the joke simply because everyone else does.